So this is a video for any of you who are curious how to derive the quadratic formula, or basically where it comes from. So the quadratic formula can solve any quadratic that looks like this. And so what you want to start by doing is moving your c to the other side by subtracting it from both sides. That will give you this expression right here. Now what you want to do is divide everything by a. That'll get your a's to cancel, leaving you with this expression here. And now what you want to do is complete the square. And the way that you can complete the square is by taking the coefficient on the x term, not including the x. So we're not including this x here. Take term by 1/2. Square the whole thing and then add it back into this expression. So when you do that, what you're going to end up with is that term right there. As you can see, we took b over a, we divided it by 2, and we squared the entire thing. But if you do that to one side of the equation, you're going to have to do that to the other side as well. So notice we have it on both sides of the equal sign. What you want to do now is factor the left-hand side of the equation. Figure out what two expressions will add to give you the b over a term and multiply it to give you the b over 2a squared term. And the answer is b over 2a, because b over 2a and b over 2a add to give you b over a, which fits this term right here. And they both multiply to give you b over 2a squared, which fits this term right here. So you can factor this into x plus b over 2a times x plus b over 2a, and then the right-hand side of the equation will stay the same. Now what we can do is take these terms here and we can square them, because that's the same number multiplied by itself. So what that's going to end up being is this term. And now what we want to do is we want to see if this right side and make it a little bit easier. So I'm going to erase a lot of the work that I've done. So now we just have this equation here. And what you want to do is you want to make the denominators the same on the right side. And you can do that by multiplying both the top and the bottom of the c over a term by 4a. That's going to give you 4ac over 4a squared. And now you can subtract 4ac from this b squared because the denominators are the same. So in this case, you're going to end up with b squared minus 4ac all over 4a squared. Now what you can do is take the square root of both sides. This will get the square to cancel there. And what you'll end up with is this. Whenever you take the square root of a fraction, you can take the square root of the top and bottom. And now this is pretty easy to take the square root because the square root of 4 is 2 and the square root of a squared is a. So you're just going to end up with 2a on the bottom. So now what you want to do from here is subtract b over 2a from both sides. That's going to get them to cancel on the left side, leaving you with just this expression right here. b squared minus 4ac over 2a minus b over 2a. Now the square root is going to create a positive and a negative root. So what you're going to end up with is this expression right here. Now notice that we also combined these together because there's the same denominator on all of these. Now the final thing that you want to do is just move that negative b right there over to the front. So what you're going to finish with is negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2 times a. That is the quadratic formula.